Hello and welcome to another episode of the Basildon Council's official podcast. You are joined by me, Ryan, and the point of this podcast, of course, is to not just notify our residents and viewers of upcoming things that are happening around the borough by speaking to councillors, but also getting the opportunity to speak with people from various charities and other businesses that do amazing work around the borough that affect our day-to-day lives. So, in that vein, I am pleased to introduce to you all Miriam Chalkley, founder of the Flex Youth and Community Group.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Have you ever done a podcast before?
I haven't actually done a podcast before. Our young people record podcast episodes, and I've been meaning to get on it, but doing all the other bits in between, I just think, I'll let them have that for now. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it myself, yeah.
Oh, good. So I love that most of the people that we have come on here have never done a podcast before, and they've no real sort of, I don't really know what to expect. But
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
So, so a lot of people come out of it and they're thinking, oh, this is good. I quite like this. And then they want to do it again.
Absolutely.
Excellent stuff. Now, one thing we seems to be like a running thing that we've been started doing now with our guests is giving them the opportunity to sort of like talk a bit more about themselves, sort of maybe a bit more about their background, where do they come from, all that kind of thing. And if you're happy to, we'd love to be able to find out a bit more about who is Miriam, who are you, whereabouts are you from, what's going on.
All right, okay. So my name is Miriam Chalkley. I am a mum. I am a wife. I am also the founder of the Flex Youth and Community Group. I've got about 12 years in community experience. I love to sing. I love a bit of a dance. I love lovers rock music. What else? I love food. And I love shopping. To my detriment. But I came over, I was born in Uganda. I came over to the UK just before my second birthday and was pretty much, by the age of 2, I was living in Basildon. So this is kind of all I've known. Although I've got a love for Uganda. I've also got a great love for the UK and what it's given to me and my family. And I've got big love for Basildon. I'm a Basildon girl. I'm here and I'm doing what I believe that I'm supposed to be doing for my community and for Basildon as a whole, really. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I love that. Thank you. And so you mentioned it, you doing the thing that you feel is the right thing for you, for your community, and that is being involved with Flex Youth and Community Group.
That's right.
So I wondered if we could sort of take time to figure out what is it and how did that come about?
Okay, so I've done various things over the years, but I was working in the youth sector and kind of worked my way up, and I've always worked with community and young people. So I was working in the youth sector and I found that my passion was Basildon particularly and the young people in Basildon. And I loved my job, absolutely loved my job. And I loved everything that we were doing. But the bit that I found hard is that I couldn't focus my work solely on Basildon because I was kind of, deployed to a different area. So I was looking after another district in the area. So I decided that actually it was better for me to grow, to leave that job. So it was a really, really big risk that I was taking. I'm not going to lie, I was suffering with my mental health at that time as well because a lot of things going on sort of in my life. But there was a part of me that felt stifled, and Flex was born while I was in that other job actually. But the reason that I set up Flex is because I've always lived in Basildon, but I'm not going to lie, the ethnically diverse community, I found that when I walked into the youth services that I was working for, I found that there wasn't really many young people that looked like me that were taking up the services. So I asked my boss and I was like, well, where is everyone, where is everyone and why are they not taking up the services? And there was no real answer to that. So I set up Flex to provide that safe space to actually integrate culturally diverse people and socially deprived people as well into the greater community. So it wasn't about separating people. It was about actually bringing them into our safe space, an inclusive space, so that they felt comfortable enough to then join the rest of the community so we could merge. And that's very much what Flex has done. So we have people of all different backgrounds that are actually involved in what we're doing. But the big barrier was creating that, and the big challenge was creating that cohesion at first. So Flex was born. Sorry, you'll find I talk a lot because I'm passionate about this.
Hey, it's perfect for a podcast.
Good. So yeah, Flex was born running youth provisions, and then my son, he then said to me, "But Mum, Flex is yours, right?" And I was like, "Yes, kid, it is mine." So he said, "Well, what are you doing for us?" And that kind of hit home a little bit. And I thought, well, now you're asking me something, and I'm going to have to provide that for you. So I then set up the Flex Minis, which is our 5 to 11-year-old provision. So we had the 12 to 18-year-olds, and then we had the 5 to 11-year-olds. And then I looked at the baby, the 3-year-old, and I was like, "But what am I doing for you?" So we then set up Mama and Me, which is our mother and toddler sessions as well. So for me, it's about a legacy for the community, but it's also for my children as well. You find all too often you're pouring from an empty cup, and that was where I was at before. So to be able to give that safe space for not just all young people, but for my family as well, so that they can recognise the work that I'm committing myself to doing. I just put these groups in place, and Flex was born and then grew and grew and grew, and yeah.
So we briefly met a few weeks back actually for an event that was happening in town, and one thing that really came across was that sort of passion for younger people to feel more included and have a safe space where they can be themselves and explore and make friends and really feel part of something.
Absolutely.
That's something that for you is so important.
Yeah, so the young people and the people that are part of I say the young people, but there's so many different age ranges that are now involved in our organisation. But the community and the people that are a part of Flex are the heart of what we do. So if I talk about the young people that we work with, they are the ones who design the programs that we do. So they are key to what we do. I could open the doors to a hall and create things that I want to do, but then that's not necessarily going to be for everyone. So it's really important that we get their say and their input, and they design the programs, they design the events that we want to do as well. So they're part and parcel of everything. So we're meeting their needs, we're meeting the community's needs. It's not about what I want to do. It's about, well, my husband describes Flex as a mirror. So you look at Flex, and Flex is the reflection of what you want it to be. So when it comes to events and things like that, we've got those. Not everybody wants to be in front of a camera. Not everybody wants to have a microphone in their hand and do all the singing and the dancing. Some people are really, really good planners, so they want to be on part of the organisational committee. Some people really want to stand up for what they believe in and be young people representatives. Other people really want to learn to cook, so they're part of that sort of side of things. So it's about upskilling young people to be able to actually realise what they want to do as well, where their talents and skills lie, and encourage that and nurture them out of it as well. And we find that with our volunteers as well. Sometimes the volunteers come in and they want to do something, but they don't necessarily know what they want to do, but they find that home. And it's, for me, my job is, it's not the boss lady, I'm the facilitator. So you tell me what you want from this group, and we'll work out how we can make that happen for you. So if you've always wanted to try crochet knitting or something, something really, really random, then maybe we'll do that. And then when you get really, really good at that, maybe you can facilitate that group to teach other people to do those things. And it's your sort of downtime. I love to sing. And as a mum, as a busy, busy mum, I stopped singing for a really long time. one of the things that we did for our organisation is we set up open mic nights. So once a month, I get to stand up on stage and I get to sing. So I'm meeting that need for me as well as for other people, other creatives in the community. So we've got volunteers that are really, really, really good and keen dancers. So then part of our youth provision that we do is we set up dance sessions. So they're getting that to let off that, I was going to stop body popping, but they're getting to release that, that they, that need and feel that need, whilst also teaching other people and sharing their gifts and their talents. And we've got some super parents as well, super parents and mums that actually, they see the value of what our group is doing, and they just want to be a part of it because their kids are flourishing and they're thriving from this environment. So people are coming in and just, it's a family, it's Flex family. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so it's giving people sort of, like you say, it's not just what I think we ought to do, it's giving people the empowerment.
Absolutely.
Let them just go off and that's what we want to do. Let's do it.
This is your group. This is your group. That's what we say. This is your group. You need to tell me what you want to do and let's make it happen. This is your group. It's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's much bigger than me. It's about the community. And I think, I try not to speak out of turn, but I think as a community group, I'll speak for my community group, we can't call ourselves a community group if we're not doing what the community are asking us to do. So we operate as that mirror. You come to me and you say, right, I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to figure out how we can do that or best meet that need that you have. And as long as it's safe and as long as it's something that we can, Barbados isn't on the cards, but you never know, maybe a trip to Southend or, we just make these things happen. The kids decide what they want to do. They want to go to trampoline parks. So we're going to have to see if we can speak to one of these local trampoline parks and do a bit of fundraising as well so that we can make that happen for them. Some of them have never done camping, so we want to speak to organisations that can make that happen for some of our young people, and there's lots and lots of different things that we want to do and kind of make things happen and let them know that anything's possible. So
well, you seem to be doing quite well. So on a video that I watched where some of your younger people were asked to describe what Flex was to them.
Yeah.
Some of the words they used were happiness, a place for diversity and for all, inspiring, guidance, fun, community. Like, they're all lovely words to describe something. How does that make you feel, like, hearing those words?
Makes me want to cry. So that was a surprise video that our young people, it was actually for last year on Black History Month. We're in a position where we were trying to find a safe space and a fairly permanent home for our young people to attend our provisions. And I think that kind of hit home for a lot of these young people, how much they need the group. And it was the weight of, we've got 120 kids that have signed up to our organisation. And it's the weight of carrying that. You've kind of, I don't know if it's the red pill, the pill or the blue pill that you take, the Matrix thing, but I kind of subscribe to it and then it keeps me up at night. So I think, I've evidenced the need. Now I've evidenced the need, what am I going to do about it? And these young people, they created, it was just the most beautiful video of how much Flex means to them. And I'm like, that's a 15-year-old me, that's a 10-year-old me, that's a 5-year-old me. That is what I needed as a young person. And to be able to hear that and see that in video form as well, all those individuals that took time out of their day, because young people's time is really precious, right?
There's not a lot of it, is there?
Absolutely. So their time is really, really precious. So the fact that they took that time to make something to present to us as an organisation, it meant a lot. It was very therapeutic, and I know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right place and I'm doing an all right job. So yeah, give myself flowers.
So how can people get involved in Flex if, after watching this, they think, do you know what, that's something I'd really like to get involved in? What can they do? What are the things that they can join in and do?
Yeah. So we have a lot of activities and provisions that we put in place. So if it's people that want to come and partake in the provisions on our website, we're trying to keep updated on, keeping it updated on the things that are going on. But we also have a space on there where you can volunteer. We spoke to a lot of people at the event last Saturday that were really, really keen to volunteer also. But yeah, there is our contact details are on there if you want to volunteer or if you want to sign your child up. Our provisions are free. Our provisions are free. We give our time to young people because we don't believe that cost should be a barrier for young people to access quality. So yeah, our provisions are free. You can find out the details on our websites, our social media platforms as well. On Instagram, we're quite good on that one. So we're on flex.youth on Instagram, and our website is www.flexyouth.com. So we have a website as well, and you can find out details and volunteering. And if you see us in one of these hoodies in the street, come and talk to us. We're doing things. So really, really, and if you've got any ideas of projects as well that you want to kind of put together, one of the things that we're talking about is mental health. It's a big thing. A lot of our young people, safe spaces, but also a lot of, I think, men's mental health is something that we should really be advocating and talking about, and I think sometimes, I have 4 sons, and speaking to them about how they're feeling, I think prevention is better than cure sometimes. So sometimes tackling it at a younger age. So one of the things that we do facilitate is our King's Club. And we started that off and the girls felt left out, so we turned it into Flex Minis. But we do have that downtime with the boys and those that identify as boys. So, I'm just being open to everything at the moment so that they can talk about how they're feeling in a positive way so that it doesn't get muffled, and so that they can communicate in a healthy way so that we can minimise risks of things, even like knife crime. Actually being able to communicate things in a positive way and understanding and learning how to communicate as opposed to getting frustrated. I think it's really, really important that we tackle that. But also, the work is not, you're not a lost cause if you're older and you're a older man and you want to talk about your feelings, because I think young people need to see themselves as well. And I think if, as a grown man as well, that you need that safe space and that place to talk, I think we need to be there. We need to be there. We need to sort of understand that people are struggling. So that's something that I feel particularly passionate about. So, but if anyone's got any ideas of how we can collaborate and do some things, I'm always open for that as well.
Well, one of the things that you have going on, which pricked my ears when I heard it, was that you guys run podcasting sessions to sort of teach younger people to get an opportunity to sit and talk and explain things and how things make sense to them, getting young people into that caught my attention.
That was kind of born from, so something that we do is topical discussion. I think it's really, really important that we get young people talking. So at the end of each of our youth group sessions, we pull a subject out of there. It can be anything from, it's things that matter to us as a community. So as a Black community, we look at our community, not just what's going on in terms of whether it be discrimination and things like that. But one of the things that we look at is Black people within our community as well, because I've got to be firm and honest and say it with chest. And one of the things that we look at is colorism. So it's the shade of your skin. So one of the things that young people talk about is the issues surrounding colorism, whether you're going to be favoured more for being lighter or darker. Then we could talk about the price of school meals, we could talk about something as, or we can talk about sexual health. That's another thing that's really, really important, that some of these young people are accessing healthy conversations. We don't go in there talking to them about things that ideally their parents or schools should be talking to them about, but we do make sure that that we have these conversations if they need to in a safe and conducive environment. We talk about who should sit in the front seat, mum or wife, we have some really, really topical discussions. And so from that, we formed kind of a subgroup, which is the podcasting group. It's getting really busy and popular, and they show up on time so that they can talk about issues. We know what's going on in the GC, in the group chat. We know what's going on because they want to talk about these things and they want to share that with other young people. And I think the beauty of that is that they're having really, really important and insightful conversations, but other young people want to listen to other young people. They don't want to listen to me. They might take advice from me, but they don't necessarily want to, or they might not necessarily hear it from me. But when they're hearing it from their peers and having good conversations and positive conversations and intelligent and insightful conversations, I think that can go a long way as well. Sharing that on platforms, sharing that within schools as well. So each week they go up to the lab and they cook up a storm and they have these really, really good conversations about things that matter to them and things that matter to their peers. So and we could learn a lot as adults as well, and as grown-ups and as parents and as authority figures from what they actually have to say. So
no, I think conversation is so important for not just young people but for everyone. Conversating with other people and listening to other people's ideas and just having that opportunity to talk more is so interesting, which leads me on to something I'd like to sort of round us up. For those that don't know, it is Black History Month. We're celebrating that, and I'd love to be able to have this opportunity to discuss why is it important that we discuss Black History Month in that same vein of discussion being so important. Why is it important that we have a discussion? Why is it important we talk about this?
I think growing up in Basildon, being the minority for a lot of my life as well, I think it's really, really important for people to have that sense of identity and sharing and celebrating the identity. It's not all too often I find that Black History Month, a lot of the time, it was about, slavery, and it's about the trauma and things like that. So one of the things that we do as our organisation is we celebrate being a part of history, making history. And Black History Month is a really, really cool opportunity for us to come together into our community and get people to ask questions as well, like, what are you doing? What impact are you making in your community? What does this mean to you? And what it means to me is celebrating diversity and celebrating all the beauty that comes from us all being different people coming together in one big melting pot to create wonderful things and being proud to be, proud to be Black. I'm proud to be Black. I'm really, really proud to be Black. But I'm also really, really proud to be a Basildon girl. And I'm proud to have all these different facets and not hidden and shine away from the fact that that I'm a Ugandan woman. And these are the things about my culture that I would like to share with you guys. So, Yeah,
it's a really good opportunity to learn, if anything.
Learn, listen.
Yeah, listen.
We don't have to agree. We don't even have to agree. I think that's the... I just like people to be curious and ask questions. We might have difference of opinion, but I think that's a good thing sometimes, that I can take on what you say and think, okay, fair enough. And you can take on what I say and it's like, all right, yeah, I see. I'm not sure, but okay. But we're listening to each other and we're having conversations. It's, we're all, there's difference between us, but it doesn't have to be pro. This is a big thing for me. To be pro something doesn't mean to be anti something else. It's just in support. But it's just that learning and that understanding more than anything else. So,
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I really do appreciate you coming in to talk about
you.
Everything. I love it.
Thank you.
How was your first proper podcasting experience with us?
It was all right. It was all right. I talk a lot anyway, so I have to do it. All right, take a breath. So I'm trying not to talk too much. But it's really nice to be here and to be given the opportunity by Basildon Council to share a little bit about me, about the organisation, about the work that we're doing, and long may it continue. You know, it's really, really good that it's good to be here. It's good
Absolutely.
to be here.
And that's so, you know, for those watching, of course, as mentioned at the beginning, it is something that, you know, going forward, we'd love to, you know, speak to more people who do fantastic work within the borough and impact our people that live here. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you very much.